Okay, we're recording. What's up? Day 2 of NAMM.
What's up?
Hi, Jay.
Hi. It's me. Morning.
Morning. This gimbal thing is difficult to use too. Walking out of the hotel now. Gonna do a time lapse of the walk on down, but decided to do some filming today. Yesterday, completely overwhelmed by just the huge number of everything. Just so much stuff everywhere. So, I get some video and kind of do some walkthroughs of NAMM and how it goes.
Weather was completely beautiful
Yeah, absolutely
all
gorgeous.
weekend.
And this is actually jumping in about, we're almost done with the walk. It's a little over a mile all the way to the hotel room there.
A lot of interesting people.
Yeah.
And the food trucks.
Yeah, the food trucks were really good.
Killer.
Expensive, but...
Killer food.
There's the Yamaha Grand Stage, had a lot of performances there. Saw Animals' leader there actually the night before we filmed this. And this is the entrance there to the Anaheim Convention Center, which is, of course, the videos and pictures people see as they post pictures of NAMM.
What you didn't see was the super high security checkpoint that we walked through with, as Justin would say, very attentive personnel.
And that right there, the media center, it's actually where they had presentations every morning, which we didn't partake. A couple of them looked interesting, but we just wanted to go and look at mostly the gear and talk to people.
And they were actually scattered. There was a few of those scattered all over the whole arena, everything. There was a couple upstairs, too, that going from one hall to the other where they had a whole bunch of stuff going on.
Yeah, I think in future years, if we go back to NAMM, we'll probably partake some more in that. But this one, like I said at the beginning of the video, was just overload and
shock and awe.
Yeah. And as this is day 2, that we checked out the main hall the previous day, but this one here we're heading downstairs to Hall E. All the smaller companies, actually, that's not a very good shot, but that's the Enki guitar case booth, and they were really nice. I actually just picked one of those up yesterday.
A lot of pretty much all your acoustic stuff down here on this floor. A lot of wood stringed instruments, especially ukuleles.
Yeah, there was an insane amount of ukuleles. Like, I didn't know that many people played ukuleles just in general. But yeah, down here's a lot of the import companies, not really any name brands. This is one of the 2 guitar wood providers that we actually stopped and looked at here. Some really awesome grains. And then here's the other. That's actually an epoxy filling in there on the burl. Glows in the dark.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. Company out of Germany. Yeah, Schroeder. Is that how you pronounce that? Schroeder?
Schroeder? I think it's Schroeder. Someone will probably listen to this and tell me how wrong I am. Stupid Americans.
They had a lot of different hardwood companies down there for drum shells as well, which I don't think we actually got any video of, but
no.
A lot of rare woods and I guess African mahogany or something like that. Since it's talking about trays opening up for that now.
Yeah, they had some weird the 10s, I think, or temps is what they had with the trade going on. Sorry for the sped up. I ended up with about an hour's worth of footage throughout all of this shooting and didn't want to have an hour's worth of video, so just kind of hurry up. I'll slow down to some points when it's some cooler things to see. And I apologize for the motion sickness.
He's lying.
I feel very guilty. Coming up here, actually, on what was probably my favorite booth of the show, the Kloss Guitars. The guy right there that's just putting down the acoustic version is actually the CEO of it. They were just super awesome. On that blue one right there is actually a dual 8-string Brazilian artist. And at this point, Jay has taken the camera.
Notice my fine inability to get people into the frame. Or I'm sorry, inability.
And it was super loud down there, and actually the patch I was playing through on the was the Axe-Fx 3 was just a clean one. I was more concerned with just the playability of the guitar rather than the sound of it. But they completely custom fabricate everything on the guitar all the way down to the pickups, the hardware.
Yeah, everything is built in-house. Coming from my perspective on it being a drummer, the overall, just how they build these guitars, the craftsmanship they put in them is insane. The detail, everything right down to the inlays is just phenomenal. And the fact that they just build everything in-house. Nothing is pretty much outsourced for them.
Yeah, they do build it. They don't actually, like you said, outsource from like anywhere in China or Indonesia like that. And we actually thought it was kind of neat. So that's just a transmutation circle there on the fretboard, which matches up. Of course, different than ours, but with ours, it was pretty neat. And yeah.
What you can't see on that he's holding back there in the background on the double neck blue guitars, it's actually got blue LEDs and laid in the neck as well.
Yeah, I'll actually go ahead and insert a photo of it here over the top of my very, very boring playing, especially since you can't hear it. And, but yeah, really neat. A lot of custom options that you can do on them. Different grains, and actually that's the neck wood. You can see there, it's just a lighter wood around it.
That double neck is sick. That's just completely insane. And those guys were absolutely awesome. You know, they were so helpful and answered every question we had. You know, very proud of their work. They were great guys to talk to.
Oh, yeah. Just fun. Moving on here a bit. Like we said, Holly downstairs. Lots of weird things. You can see in a lot of the other YouTubers out there some more in-depth stuff than we got into. And we didn't really want to duplicate some of the things that they did. Lots of Asian companies. No name, actually. I think the next clip is me sitting down to actually play a guitar. Some audio with it, too. 7-string. So I actually kind of looked into this company on it and how much it would cost to buy one of those guitars. As it turns out, you can't just buy one. You have to buy a minimum of 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think in the end they ended up being like $500 a piece. The craftsmanship on it was definitely better than $500 guitar you can find. Really nice playing. But yeah, you can't just buy one.
I don't need one. And we're back on the move.
Yeah. Oh, I know what this next clip is. This guy was awesome. Oh, nope, not yet. Jumped the gun.
No, he wasn't there. He's on the second round around.
Yeah.
But there's a couple shots of the wide assortment of ukuleles.
Yeah.
A lot of weird ones there, too. There's some pretty neat ones as well. I'm not really big into the whole uke thing, but...
I actually have played a couple ukulele basses that are pretty neat. Like rubber core and the strings. And then, can't really get a shot of it there, but there's just a video game station right in the middle of it. These guys from Gig Track right there.
Definitely gonna have to pick one of these up for the next album.
Yeah, it sounded really cool, really neat. They sold them in a bunch of different keys, so you can get them to match up. I think we can make that work.
Can't go anywhere without beating on something.
Drummers.
Yeah, they were pretty sharp. They had a whole wide assortment of different key ranges with those. People.
Oh, yeah. Here it is with this guy. Jay going live right there in the background. You can still watch that video on our Facebook page too.
Yeah, this guy was just absolutely amazing. Played a few times on and off as we were walking by.
And that guitar is cool too. You can see it has 2 1/4-inch jacks down the end.
2 different sets of pickup and electronics. And we're off again. Guitar straps. There's that gaming station again. Again, really neat, but just kind of weird to have it there at NAMM. Goes dog. A couple people had dogs in there.
You know, I've watched this video like twice now. Before we do this, we tend to hang around the food section a lot.
That did happen. Yeah. Oh, this guy's cool. Had some really neat Back to the Future inspired guitars there.
A couple steampunk ones as well.
Yeah. The LEDs there for the digits actually work. You could punch in numbers in it.
A lot of fine detailing in the craftsmanship on those guitars.
Oh, yeah.
And we're moving.
A lot of silent guitars there, too. Backed by the Kloss guitars again. Wanted to get a good close-up of the hardware on it. I'm a Strandberg player, and I just wanted to see the difference between the two. Hardware. Yep. Random lines of people lining up to meet someone. We tried to figure out who it was in that one, and that one specifically, I don't have a clue who it was.
Yep, same here. Pretty much how I was through the whole thing. It's like, oh, who's that? I don't know.
Yeah. And we don't actually get it in this video, but there's a huge band instrument section, like horns and woodwinds, up there had their own following in groups of people.
Yeah, I actually got a video of that of I can't remember the chick's name, a violinist.
Oh yeah.
That's when I got lost trying to find you.
And that's when my focus goes to hell right here. Oh, there's Jay's arm again. Back at the Tone Woods.
Now we're up on the drum floor, and it was so loud up here, and massive. But in all honesty, man, I really wasn't that like super impressed with what some of the drum companies had. I mean, there was nothing to really grab my eye and just kind of said, "Ooh, neat, I need that." You know what I mean?
Especially the ones that were like part of conglomerates. Like, Jay's a Gretsch drums player, but they didn't even have a complete Gretsch kit, or maybe they had one, but it was only like a 5-piece, nothing really interesting.
Well, they had one, but it wasn't in the Gretsch spot. It was down there in the Harmon.
Oh, Hal Leonard.
Yeah, Hal Leonard. That's what it was.
Yeah, and then you would think also there with the Gibraltar, who is owned by Hal Leonard, that they'd have some crazy Gibraltar drum rack, but they didn't have any of it. It was a bit disappointing there.
Yeah, I was pretty let down on the drum stuff. But here we are where all the magic happens, especially with us live. Lighting and effects, that's the way to go.
Oh, yeah. Now this part back here was awesome. And then zoom in here on MA lighting. Really, really cool big old Grand MA board. Grand MA3.
It was kind of nice. I could say I physically touched and did not break his $60,000 lighting board.
Yeah. And these guys right here, Froggy's Fog, actually was some of our favorite people we talked to. Company out of just outside of Nashville. Make all their stuff in the U.S. And actually, big thing was their fog was non-abrasive to your throat.
Yeah, they're the overall. I don't know how they make it what it is, but just even the density of what their fog puts out for, little bit amount of a juice and a massive result was just insane.
Oh yeah.
And the super awesome fog bubbles.
Bubble fogger. And we are still trying to figure out a way to make bubble fog match our set piece somehow, but we just can't come up with a way to have it fit with the Baroque period in Europe, but maybe it doesn't matter.
I just need them. They're neat.
We don't have to put it in the show. We can just buy it to play with.
That's true.
So it's kind of cool. They do different scented fog that you can call in custom order. And the guy was telling us about some whiskey scented fog that they sent out in the bubbles for Brad Paisley.
Fried chicken. I would really like a fried chicken fog.
Fried chicken fog?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I'd just feel greasy at the end of that.
I feel greasy after every fog experience, but...
All right, here's the big arena with the big old line array systems. Again, I didn't have the camera out for it, but right before this point, they actually went through and played about a 20-second clip on each and every one of these. It was kind of neat to hear the difference in sound between them. Yeah.
The overall live sound, just to, when you're looking at these rigs, is how far the technology's come. That, I mean, here you're seeing these are bigger, fuller arrays, but they also have them where which we didn't get on this, where they're demonstrating, half the rig array, and just how much power and sound that they put out.
Oh, yeah.
And what they're running off. If you looked at some of the amps that they're running these things off, it's insane. Some of them only weigh like 7 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to the monsters we used to run back in the day.
Yeah. And some of these smaller thin line arrays there too seem to be getting more popular, but I think that one right there didn't do a very good job of picking out what songs to play. It wasn't that clear.
Yeah, the overall rig sounded awesome, but it just wasn't really... The music choice was not a very good pusher.
Yeah. There's Universal Audio's Luna system. They had kind of a cool walkthrough. There was a line I didn't actually bother to go through. I'm not a huge Universal Audio fan, but spaceship themed. Right. This is the Arturia booth. They had some really neat stuff for modular synth. I actually used their key step, and I decided I'm going to start messing around with modular synth stuff. And then we're coming up towards the end of the recording. This place had some really cool LED knobs.
Super cool, and they're really hard to find. This company actually had a wide assortment of different, from auto faders to, everything. It's just neat what they had.
Picture on the way in. It's pictures from here out. Josh Gallagher, I think he was on The Voice, was performing there when we got there on the first day. Jay getting ear molds from All Claire Audio. Animals as leaders performing.
That was a killer show.
Oh, yeah.
Guys are definitely in a class of their own.
Me and Austin Dickey. He was super cool. There's Michelangelo Badio and video piece at the back. Me meeting MAB. Jay with a gigantic Atom Audio studio monitor. Kemper booth. Ormsby Guitars. Followed them online for a while. They were all super neat. Strandberg. You can actually see Ola Strandberg right there in the front. Got to play some True Temperament guitars. It's really neat. These are just some cool photos of weird guitars I saw.
Some random guy lurking in the background.
Yeah. Teufel. Another harp guitar. And then a dog.
Because everybody needs a dog.
360-degree piano and the coolest shirt ever. Hercules guitar stands. Of course, thank you to Derek from Hercules for getting us the invite. Minart guitars. Of course, they always have insane things. Gizmotron, mechanical device, acted as a bow on the string. I actually played one for a while. It was really neat. Oh, Vetteliner guitars. Had a really cool 8-string. Nice guy. Of course, Ola England. By the way, he's really tall. I'm 6'3", and he's telling me. And of course, Derek, who got us the invite. Black Star amps. Took that for Dustin.
My new bed! I was informed that's how I got to travel now.
Spitfire Audio, which is who we use for our orchestra samples. And Lee Sklar, famous bassist. And that wraps up what we got for the media for our trip to NAMM. Thanks for watching and listening to us.
Oh, yeah. It's a very intellectual conversation.
Yes. And let us know what you think of this style video with us just doing commenting just over the top and showing cool things, because we're going to try doing some different stuff in the future. So leave a comment, let us know what you think, and please subscribe. Thanks.
Later.